If you have Hashimoto's, are there some tips and tricks that you can learn about intermittent fasting that may help you heal faster? Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah Peternell. I'm board certified in holistic nutrition and I'm a thyroid expert. I'm also the creator of the 30-day online program called Nourished and Renewed with Hashimoto's. Today, I'm hanging out in my backyard and I've got my crazy hair going on. So if you are new here, please know that a lot of my videos are recorded at my house or at my office. And sometimes I look great and sometimes I look like a doofus like I do right now. But this subject is really important. In fact, I get this question so much from followers on social media and from YouTube. So I get the question about yeah, I understand what intermittent fasting is, and I've actually heard that it may not be right for me if I have Hashimoto's. But is there a way in which there are some tips or strategies to make intermittent fasting work for me? Well, I have Hashimoto's, and I can tell you that intermittent fasting is one of the most successful tools that I have in my toolbox to help me both with weight management and with supporting my immune system. So, a few things that I want to tell you about, and I've got some notes here I'm going to pull up. The first thing is that a lot of times you'll hear or you'll read, maybe from your doctor or from some articles, that if you have Hashimoto's, intermittent fasting will lower your natural levels of thyroid hormone. This is partly true, yes, because when you are in a fasting state, your rate of conversion from T4 to T3 is going to be less. But that's okay because normally this will rebound when you do resume a normal sort of eating, a normal eating time frame. When you are fasting during a long period, say 12, 14, or 16 hours, and you are doing normal daily activities, for some, the adjustment to this period can be a little bit weird because you are experiencing basically a hypothyroid state. And it will take a little bit of time for your body to kind of adjust and get used to this. Your body needs to be able to start to utilize your fuel from food better, meaning that rather than relying on carbohydrates and especially frequent feedings of carbohydrates day in and day out for energy, your body needs to start to rely on some of your other fuels, in particular fat. So I'm going to back up a little bit, but I'm just wanting to give you sort of the overview of what is really helpful for you. So the biggest thing is that with Hashimoto's, oftentimes blood sugar dysregulation is one of the things that causes the most symptoms, meaning kind of some of the brain fog issues, maybe some of the low energy, mood and behavior changes, things like irritability, feeling hungry all the time, but feeling full really fast. So blood sugar dysregulation is very much hand in hand. I've actually written a blog post on my website that you can check out all about the relationship between Hashimoto's and blood sugar. That article is in the pinned comments down below. So if you are working to start to get closer to a more intermittent fasting pattern, the best thing to help with the blood sugar issue is to start slow. So start by just, maybe doing a 12 and 12. That actually, I know it doesn't seem maybe that hard, but for many people it is because they are so used to maybe eating after dinner time, or they might be really used to being hungry when they wake up and having blood sugar regulation issues that kind of forces them to eat right away. So just starting with a 12 and 12 means that you finish at 7 p.m. and you don't have breakfast until maybe 7 a.m. the next day. And then you can gradually start to space this out because research does show that people who do even some of the most basic intermittent fasting, they actually have improved sensitivity to insulin and they have improved glucose regulation. And so this in turn can also help with, again, some of those thyroid symptoms that are actually probably related to your reactive hypoglycemia or blood sugar dysregulation. So that's the first thing that I think is very helpful to know. As you get more used to doing the 12 and 12, and then maybe you start to get more to like a 14-10, this can help you to crave even less sugar and also starting to use the blood sugar that you do have on hand for that energy rather than putting it into fat storage. and that'll also help you to burn fat as well. So one of the questions that I get a lot of times is, well, what if I just need to lose weight and I don't have a lot of symptoms with my Hashimoto's? Well, definitely intermittent fasting is a program that you can try because, again, research has been shown that when we are in a fasting state, we improve our metabolic state. In other words, we speed things up a little bit, and that can also help with weight loss. So, low thyroid hormones, low T4 to T3 conversion, all of these things can lead to a slowed metabolism and a dysregulated thermoregulation of our body temperature, which can cause some unwanted weight gain. So if you are doing, again, a 12-12 or a 14-10, this is a great way to start to improve your overall metabolic capacity at the cellular level so that you are able to start to see some of those unwanted pounds disappear. Okay, so another question that I get a lot of the time is, will intermittent fasting help me if I have brain fog? And the answer is yes. I believe that initially, again, as your body is kind of getting used to intermittent fasting, there can be some, kind of initial discomfort, but after a while, intermittent fasting will improve brain function, and it can even help to prevent some of the related conditions to Hashimoto's, for example, anxiety and depression, which tend to go, quite frequently hand in hand with people who have Hashimoto's. Again, it's the regulation of the blood sugar that helps to produce ketone bodies for fuel. And so the ketones provide clean burning fuel for the brain that actually is really good for helping to clear up some of that brain fog and also to reduce or lower inflammation that may be, affecting the brain from Hashimoto's. So the ketones, if you are fasting for 14 to 16 hours, these leave behind fewer of the inflammatory free radicals. And also, these ketones, they rely on fat rather than sugar for fuel. So it's really helpful for, if you understand any of the principles kind of behind a ketogenic diet, which I'm not talking about in this video. I'm really just talking about the benefits that you get when you're doing the intermittent fasting. Typically in the final hours, as your body has really shifted into using ketones as fuel, that's what helps to kind of scavenge some of those free radicals, clean up some of the inflammation in the brain, and also to help to alleviate some of the brain symptoms that you might be experiencing with Hashimoto's. All right, so you can look up a lot of this research. I use PubMed and some other places to kind of assimilate and gather the latest research, but also just kind of piecing together articles that I find on the website, different websites. And one of the things I wanted to point out was that right now, some of the newest research shows that intermittent fasting may reduce blood pressure, triglycerides, LDL cholesterol, and also insulin-like growth factor. So these things that we're learning more about, the ways in which intermittent fasting benefits the total picture of health, as well as Hashimoto's, I think are really fascinating and really important to pay attention to. So what essentially the bottom line is if you improve your lipid profile or you're able to reduce the insulin-like growth factor, not only are you improving your total health, but you're removing a lot of those factors which may contribute to or lead to disease later on as you get older, one of which being cancer. So again, just another side benefit that we're really helping to protect our bodies and our overall health with intermittent fasting. Okay, so definitely intermittent fasting is not for everyone. Pregnant women who have Hashimoto's should definitely not be intermittent fasting. They should be listening to their bodies and eating, maybe with guidance from a holistic nutritionist, but definitely getting enough calories both for mom and baby. Also, kids shouldn't be doing any intermittent fasting, or people who have any history of disordered eating or diagnosed eating disorder. That would not be appropriate unless you have, maybe the guidance of your physician or a holistic nutritionist. There are a lot of other situations. I think you have to really listen to your body. If you just don't feel your best, if you feel like you're getting frequent colds, if you feel like you're really run down all the time, you're tired all the time, then definitely intermittent fasting is something that you want to hold off on until you get stronger and you have more of your resilience back. And primarily what I'm talking about would be like cases of, um, kind of a corresponding adrenal fatigue that a lot of my clients that I work with who have Hashimoto's are also experiencing some issues with their adrenals. So just, listen to your body, know your body, eat when you need to eat, and don't try to push yourself to do intermittent fasting if this just isn't the right time for you health-wise. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video for some kind of quick tips about how to do 12-12 and 14-10, especially to start using ketone bodies as fuel to help support your brain, also to use intermittent fasting to regulate your blood sugar better, and also to help maybe lose some of the unwanted pounds that are so commonly associated with Hashimoto's. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll be back with more videos really soon. Thanks.